What's going on, lads and lasses? Major movement at Newcastle and Liverpool with a massive bid rejected and a potential domino effect in play now as Liverpool's official bid has been rejected for Alexander Isak from Newcastle United. Let's get into it. So Liverpool's first official bid, they finally put in a bid for Alexander Isak and it has been rejected, and rightly so, because Liverpool's first official bid submitted to the club is £110 million. That is absolutely disgusting. An absolute disgusting offer from Liverpool, and they should be ashamed of themselves. When Newcastle are asking reportedly 150 million for Alexander Isak, Liverpool come in with a low ball offer of 110 million. Yes, we paid 63 million for this lad from Real Sociedad, but there's a lot of work being done with this lad since coming to Newcastle United. He wasn't getting the goals that he's getting at Newcastle when he was at Real Sociedad. He wasn't scoring as many goals in the amount of games that he scored as well at Real Sociedad. It was more games, less goals when he was in Spain, and it is now more goals and less games at Newcastle United. So there's a lot of work being done, and Liverpool are trying to come in here and get a low ball offer, which is absolutely disgusting. It's typical top six behaviour, if you want to call them that. You know, it's the typical entitlement of these teams to come in and think that they can offer this kind of an amount of money for a player that is clearly, you know, one of the best, if not the best, strikers in the world right now. He's cool in front of goal. He's got the composure that is needed in that situation. There's not a striker out there really now that can do what Alexander Isak can do, and Liverpool know that, and that is why they're trying to get him for so cheap. But it's just absolutely disgusting the way this whole situation, this whole saga has gone on. It's just pathetic. It really is. They know the price that Newcastle United want. They know what we are after. And they come in with a disgusting, disrespectful offer, like 110 million all in for the player. It's just pathetic. It really is. The reports are saying that they are going to come in with a second offer, according to the likes of Romano, who we all know is now being paid to, you know, run these articles, run these posts out for certain teams. I mean, you just have to look at what he put out, of course, on this one, you know, saying his shite about, you know, the club's full package is 120 million. Well, no, it's not 120 million. It's been reported by many other media outlets saying it's 110 million all in. So how could it be 120 million for the player? And even at 120 million, it's still below the price that Newcastle are reportedly asking for, which is 150 million for Alexander Isak. So obviously, you know, this has been rejected immediately by the club, and rightly so. And also the fact that, you know, Newcastle are not opening the door for Isak to exit until we sign a replacement, which is right. This is what we should be doing. You know, we don't want to be in a situation where we sell Alexander Isak for, say, 150 million, and then we can't get ourselves a replacement in the door in time for the season. That is not what we want to do, because then that's going to leave us threadbare up top in the most important position in football, which is your striker. You know, if you don't have a decent striker, then you have absolutely fuck all, basically. The reports are saying that we're looking at the likes of, you know, Ollie Watkins. Maybe is now a prime target if Isak does move, but it's only on if Liverpool pay that fee that we are asking for. If they don't match the price we're asking for, then Liverpool will not be getting the player. And if we don't get a replacement in before this window closes, then Liverpool will not be getting Alexander Isak. That is what the club has said, and rightly so, because that is what we need to do. We need to stay firm here. We need to stand our ground against this quite obvious tapping up that has been going on. We've seen it. You know, the media are running this story right, left and centre, especially journalists like David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano, who have been on this transfer a lot. And I remember, you know, a few seasons back, if you look at other transfer windows, when you ever seen David Ornstein tweeting literally on a transfer constantly about it? You've never seen it. You know, Ornstein's the guy that's a signed, sealed, delivered. He only ever really talks once the deal is pretty much concrete and it's done. So it's quite obvious, you know, and quite evident that he is being paid to run these stories, to run these posts. The same with Fabrizio Romano, of course, as well. You know, we've seen plenty of posts by them on Alexander Isak to Liverpool, and it's quite obvious that there is some sort of agenda there. There is some sort of monetary gain for these people, you know, like Ornstein and Romano, and even Ben Jacobs as well, who's also been doing it. But the club have said, we're not opening the door for Alexander Isak to exit until there is a replacement fully signed and coming in, because we don't want to be left threadbare up top, and rightly so. Ollie Watkins is being mentioned as one of the targets, along with, of course, Benjamin Sesko, but it looks like Benjamin Sesko, for some reason, has the hots for Man United. I don't know why, to be honest. They've got no European football, so I can't see why a player that, you know, wants to play in Europe, wants to play in the Champions League, would want to go to a team like Man United who don't have European football. I really don't understand that one. So maybe, you know, we've got another situation on our hands there where it may be, again, an agent-driven story. You know, his agent causing a lot of problems there. I mean, Arsenal were pretty close to getting Benjamin Sesko, and then they backed out and got Gary Akos because they didn't like the way the agent was dealing with things, chucking in extra fees here and there. So maybe this Benjamin Sesko situation might be one that we should stay away from. But you can't say, you know, that the lad isn't a great player, because he really is. But if there's a dodgy agent going on there, then I think that's a one that we might need to stay away from and look at other options that are on the table. Like I say, Ollie Watkins is there, even though he is on the older side, but there's other options that we're looking at as well. And then on the outgoings from Newcastle United, we've seen Antonio Cordero going out to Westerlo in the Belgian league. He will go out on loan, of course. He's joined up with them now in the Belgian league, and of course he'll be out on loan for them for the remainder of the season. The Spanish attacking talent Antonio Cordero signed on a free from Malaga for us, and he has been loaned out to Westerlo for the 25-26 season. There is no buy option in there, and this is a development loan. He, of course, is massively seen as a key future piece for our club, so he is not for sale whatsoever, according to the reports coming from Fabrizio Romano on that as well. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. I mean, do you think this is right, that we are standing with ground? I really do agree with the club on this. We should stand with ground on this Alexander Isak deal. 110 million is a joke of an offer. It's a low ball offer. Liverpool know what they're doing here. They know that the player's worth more than this, and they're trying to get him on the cheap. And I mean, if you want the lads that much, then you'll be willing to pay the price that we're after. You know, it's only 40 million more, according to the reports. If it's 150 million that we're after, then it's only 40 million more than the offer that you've put in. You know, just pay it up front. Newcastle United get the money, you get the player that you want, and everybody's happy and everybody moves on. And Alexander Isak clearly gets to move to the team that he has been wanting, I guess, for a little while now. Though I do still think, to be honest, this has been a situation where Liverpool have tapped up Alexander Isak, and I think at some point down the line we probably will find out the truth behind this whole thing if Alexander Isak does go to Liverpool. But it will have to be for the fee that Newcastle United are after, and it will also have to be on the grounds that the money is paid up front, and Newcastle also have our own replacement coming in before there is a sale. There's no replacement and there's no sale. That is simply the facts right there and then. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all for the next one. However, lads.